Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Everybody tuning in this afternoon, this evening, or the morning, depending on where you are. This seems to be a nationwide, a worldwide broadcast of tonight's Activity Hub Bali Daytona 200, the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Tonight we've got truck action for you. Open setup truck, so we're not all working on the same setup. We're guys that are going to play with ride heights and suspension adjustments and the like, try to make these trucks get around the Daytona International Speedway quicker than the guy behind you or out in front. Opens up things for everybody to try and make their truck faster than the next guy. But enough of that. We're just wrapping up practice here. Let's go into the race info for the evening. Again, the Activity Hub Bali Daytona 200 on tap for you tonight. 78 degrees. Sun is setting out over the western sky. You see the east coast here off in the distance, but 78 degrees. Beautiful night for racing. We've at 80 laps, 200 miles to run here tonight in the Daytona 200. Broadcast brought to you by Activity Hub Bali and Inside Lane Productions. If you guys are interested in joining the league, head to fullthrottlesimracing.com. We've got multiple leagues, open truck series. They've got, I think, fixed trucks, cup series, even Indy cars. So a little bit of everything for what anybody might be looking for. 10 minutes left here in the practice session. Right now, the 6th truck, Tom Pritchard on top of the board. Doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot with the draft that these guys are going to be having. It'll be a slow truck, and as long as you've got a good tailwind and drafting partners to work with, work your way to the front, which makes tonight very interesting. Anybody's got a shot. Let's take you down trackside and cover some of the action. Like I said, about 10 minutes left in the practice session here right now. Tom Pritchard, fastest, that number 6 truck. Tom, a Southern Stars entry. Again, tonight's weather, beautiful night here in Daytona, 78 degrees, getting into sunset. Track temp, not much warmer, only 80 degrees, and we've got trouble in practice here. A couple of Southern Stars trucks getting caught up with each other into turn 3. And just like that, they're fixed and ready back to go. See Aiden Schultz working with the 72 of Carson Conway. As we talked a little bit about in the Open, this truck series, it's an open truck series, as you can obviously tell by the name. NASCAR Open Truck Series. Those of you that might be new to the iRacing game, or simulation for that matter, God forbid we call it a game. We're going to be in trouble if we get caught doing that. But Open Truck Series, it indicates that they're running open setups, meaning they can make adjustments to whatever baseline set that they started with, whether it's an iRacing setup that is provided typically for the fixed series, but allows you some adjustability in that. Or some guys may go out and purchase a setup from a speed lab or setup shop, or kind of a combination. Get a base setup from one of those shops and kind of work on it to fit your driving style. But it's completely open across the board, so it's not just driving skill. A lot of these guys have to go out, put the hours into testing, adjusting, seeing how the truck handles in traffic, how it handles out front, checking fuel mileage. All these things factor into it. It's another element that makes it more like a simulation than it is just a game. You know, Carson Conway, Vincent Short, even myself, I jump in with some of these guys sometimes, spend some time with setups, and just for that opportunity really to get back behind the wheel instead of a microphone. But once in a while, that is nice. Michael Shore out on track. Shorey sporting the Sim Racers merch sponsorship on that 07 truck. Speaking of HBR Racing, Vincent Short now on the track, trying to hook up with teammate Carson Conway, do a little bit of drafting practice here with about 5 minutes left in the session. Vincent Short, retired U.S. Air Force. Raymond Yeager in a 3-truck pack working together here. Again, some drafting practice going on late in this session. I think single car runs have been done and over with. I think everybody knows they've got what they've got. Andy Barber, though, in that number 5 Southern Stars Chevy Silverado. Actually looks like there's some damage to the nose of that truck. Andy certainly doing his best job as the pusher here in drafting practice. Oh, big impact on pit entry. I think it's safe to say that was intentional. That was a, hey, Andy, how are you? God, Maxie Marshall out on the track. The Toyota Tundra with that Miller Genuine Draft. Looks like a throwback Rusty Wallace scheme. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the throwbacks, I gotta say. Sean Stamper, I'm sorry. Hiram, Georgia. Says he's in the 3. Number on the truck is the 9, so we'll have to remember that later on with Thor Esports. Not a bad looking truck, honestly. Ford F-150. Got Dean Guilfoyle back there working with Michael Shore. .48.34 is the top time here again for Tom Pritchard. Not a bad lap in the draft. Darren McKenzie in the 02 Ford F-150. Southern Stars Esports Racing Team. Remember, Darren's got a win this season. I don't remember offhand what track it was. But definitely in the win column so far. I think it was, might have been our second or third race of the season. I know it was relatively early on. I think we're in race number 8 here tonight. See Darren working with the 015 truck of Brett Campbell. Looks like new paint on that truck as well for Brett. I see Woody on the front valence. That's pretty cool. Woody's even on the tailgate. How about that? Looks like Derek Jacobs heading out onto the track. Derek out of Seattle, Washington. Got a couple of American drivers in the event. This is an Australian-based series, so most of them are out of that part of the world. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now, at least tonight, we've got 6 U.S. entries. Everybody else listed as Australia. We are on the Australian server as well, so sometimes we may run into a little bit of a latency issue, just given the physical distance that it is from western New York State all the way to Australia. So far, so good. Knocking on wood, crossing our fingers. Looks like that's going to wrap it up for practice. Qualifying is next, and looks like Michael Shore might be first to hit the track. No, maybe Aiden Schultz, actually. Aiden Schultz, the number 52. I think it's a funny way to spell Aussie. I'm not sure. Aussie Esports. Didn't you think after 7 races I'd have figured this out by now, but nope. Current track temp 79 degrees. It is cooling off slightly here in Daytona. These trucks will get 2 green flag laps to try and lock themselves into the field. Not so much lock in, everybody's locked in, but determine their starting position for the race here tonight. Only a 5-minute session though, 2 laps, 5 minutes, whichever comes first. Once again, I don't think Aiden's really in the gas. Aiden's only running about 140 some miles an hour. He's just kind of putting around. Peter Matson. Carson Conway's in the gas. He's running 173 miles an hour at the moment. See if Carson's going to stay in the gas for all of his qualifying laps. So far, first lap for Carson Conway of 51.89. Puts him P1 for now, provisional pole. Still has another lap to go. Still in the gas. Vincent Short, first lap in, I believe, for Vince. Nope, just coming up to speed down the back straightaway. Vince is usually very good on these restrictor plate style tracks, these super speedways. Definitely his strong suit. He's been working on this all week long to see if he can at least put that truck near the front, if not the pole. In that conversation, the 587 of Matt Payton has taken the provisional pole, 51.85. Lap 1 for Vincent Short, a 51.813 pole position. One more lap to go. No, doesn't last long. The 6 of Pritchard takes it over. Vince still in the gas. Let's see if he can pick up the pace on lap 2. He's got to gain about half a tenth to take the spot back from the 6. Vince looking very smooth through turns 3 and 4. Off at turn number 4. Points the truck down the short chute into the tri-oval. He's going to lock in. Let's see what lap 2 has to bring. Lap 2 for Vincent Short. It's a 51.870. Does not improve. Still a good lap. Number 6, Tom Pritchard, dodges another bullet. Adam Malone now on track. His first lap of 52.23. Not the greatest of first laps, but he's still in it. Might have been a throwaway lap. A lot of guys do that. Lap 2 for Malone. Improvement, 51.849. Quick, good enough for 6th spot on the board. A good lap for Adam Malone. And Paul Regney heading out onto the Daytona International Speedway. Start his qualifying run. Paul coming to take the green right now. Didn't see Paul in practice, but he's just getting here in time. Oh, that was his first lap, 52.012. And that's going to do it. Paul's going to get one lap in. It was a decent one, 13th on the board. P1 provisional, actual official pole sitter. It's Tom Pritchard. Edges out Vincent Short by just half a tenth of a second. Take a look at our starting qualifying results. Tom Pritchard in the 6th. Vincent Short outside front row in the 005. Greg Spencer will be starting 3rd. Nigel Payton will be 4th. Raymond Yeager will be 5th. Adam Malone 6th. Justin Witcher rolls off from the 7th starting spot. Matt Payton will be 8th. Andy Barber in the Southern Stars number 5 will be 9th. Carson Conway, number 72, Holler Boys Racing, rounds out the top 10, rolls off from row number 5. Derek Jacobs in the 99 starts 11th. Dean Guilfoyle 12th. Paul Regney will be 13th. Rolling off 14th is Riz Clayton. 15th, Colton Lights. 16th, Darren McKenzie. 17th, Maxie Marshall. 18th, Peter Matson. 19th, well, can't click any further. We'll do it this way. 19th, Sean Stamper in the 3. 20th, Michael Shore. 21st is Glenn Klein. 22nd, Tristan Coach. 23rd is Aiden Schultz. Again, Aiden going to be a hot chew here tonight. Will be a contender late, I am sure of it, as long as he can keep that truck clean. Starts in the 23rd spot. Brett Campbell, 24th. 25th is Jason Holdsworth. Jason is our current points leader. 26th, Dylan Butler. And that is all, folks. Dylan Butler, 26th spot, rounding out the field. Long way to the front for the number 27 out of Virginia. Pace car rolling out of the pit lane. Field forming up to start 1 of 1 formation laps. We'll be going green here momentarily in the Activity Hub Bali Daytona 200. Presented by Activity Hub Bali and Inside Lane Productions. Dylan Cook chiming in the chat. He's on pole position in the chat tonight. Dylan, thanks for chiming in, saying let's go Vince Short. Since you're my first victim, how's the audio so far? Can you hear the trucks? Can you hear me okay? How's it going? Top 5 in points coming into tonight's race. Jason Holdsworth, Aiden Schultz, Kevin Smith, which I didn't see on the roster tonight, Raymond Yeager, and Tristan Coach out of the top 5. Field working its way off turn number 4. Pace vehicle about to peel off. Tom Pritchard leads him down. Pace car on pit lane. Green flag in hand, and we are underway in the Daytona 200. Good start for Tom Pritchard. Don't know where Vincent Short is. I don't know if Vincent lost connection prior to the race, but he was outside pole in qualifying, and now he's listed as 26th, possibly on a lap down. Started from pit lane, maybe? I'm not sure what happened there with the 005, but he's going to hope for a caution here. Tough break for the 005 of Vincent Short early on here in the Daytona 200. Put it on the outside front row. Doesn't make the start in time. Has to start from the pit lane. Going to be a long night for Vincent Short. Lap 1 about to be complete. Tom Pritchard, our pole sitter, he's going to lead lap 1. The outside looking Nigel Payton in that number 90. Looking awful racy in the high line. 29 of Greg Spencer. Down low, second truck. Yellow and black Pennzoil machine. Big bump from the 4 to the 90 up on the outside line. A little bit of momentum going down the back straightaway. The 90 of Payton charging and challenging our leader, Tom Pritchard, into turn 3. It's still side by side. Door to door off turn number 4. We still have the 6 in front. Nigel Payton challenging at the line. Who's going to lead this lap? It looks like it's the 6. Hard to say. Going to be tired after tonight if it's like this every lap. Carson Conway moved his way up from the 10th spot. He's up in the 6th position on that high side. That number 72, orange and blue, Holler Boys Racing Popple F-150. Up at the front, though, the 29 giving the 6 of Pritchard a big push down the backstretch into turn number 3. Doesn't have the position cleared. Yes, he does. High side not super organized right now. Top 3 kind of getting away on the bottom. The 90 of Payton goes down low as well, making a 4-car draft down low. Vincent Short still is on the lead lap, but in no man's land. At great risk of losing a lap in short order here. He's going to be running about 2 to 3 seconds a lap slower than the rest of the field. Just needs to hope for some semblance of a yellow flag to get him caught up. Vincent can certainly challenge for the victory here tonight as long as he can keep that truck in a draft. He doesn't have it right now. He's going to need some luck to land on his side to get it done here tonight. Coming to start lap 5, Tom Pritchard still your leader. The 29 of Greg Spencer and Raymond Yeager, Nigel Payton and Adam Malone at the end of the top 5. Justin Witcher putting pressure on Malone for that spot. He wants a piece of the top 5. Doesn't have it just yet. Malone down low. Correction, Payton down low, Malone up high. A little help from the 72 of Conway. Conway, that second truck in that high line behind the 4 of Adam Malone. Not a whole lot of help behind the 72. 99 truck is there, but about a car length back, not tucked up tight. Being relatively conservative here in the early going of the Daytona 200. You want to wreck these trucks here early. No fast repairs. If you wad it up, it's all done. Off turn number 4. Correction, turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Up front, they still battle into turn 3. The 29 of Greg Spencer looking pretty racy behind the 6. Doesn't have a whole lot of help just to pull out and make that pass, but he looks like he wants it. Here he goes, taking a peek to the outside. And the side draft a little, coming to the line. Looks like the 29 of Spencer is going to take the lead at the line. Give it to Greg Spencer. Changes up front. Greg Spencer, your new leader. 23 of Raymond Yeager, second. Adam Malone, fourth. Pole sitter Tom Pritchard back to fourth. Carson Conway, the top 5. Down the back stretch again for the 7th time of the day. Southern Stars trucks on the high side, the 4 and the 6 getting together, trying to make a move back to the lead. Adam Malone's going to lead this lap with help from the 6 of Tom Pritchard. Greg Spencer battling back down low with the 23. Raymond Yeager giving him a push. The 90 of Payton not real close to the 23, not able to push that group up front, but Greg Spencer does get the nose out in front of the 4. Now a car length, help from Raymond Yeager off turn 2. Oh, trouble. Carson Conway involved. Little contact, not sure who it was with. Damage to the right side of that number 72 Popple machine. Didn't catch who he was involved with there, but definitely had someone to his outside. Didn't catch what happened there, but unfortunate incident for the 72. Damage on the right side of that number 72 Holler Boys racing F-150. Right side pancaked and right rear bent up pretty good. Gonna have to stick it out, stay in the draft the best he can until he has an opportunity to get it fixed. Back up front though, Greg Spencer has made it back by Raymond Yeager to retake the lead. Yeager back to second, Payton in the 90 is third, Witcher is fourth, Matt Payton is fifth. Lap 11 going on the board. Greg Spencer still your leader. Yeager, Payton, Witcher, Payton. Top 5. Adam Malone 6th. Tom Pritchard, our pole sitters, back to the 7th spot. Andy Barber is 8th. Michael Shore has moved up to the 9th spot. Colton Lights is 10th. Carson Conway, after his damage, still managing to hang back in the 11th spot. Doing pretty well considering the condition of that truck. Field getting relatively straightened out. As soon as I say that, those Southern Stars machines move up to the high line, trying to work it, push it back to the front. Still Greg Spencer leads, Yeager second. Yeager right on the tailgate of that number 29 machine. Nigel Payton watching it all unfold. Taking a peek to the right side of Raymond Yeager. Nothing doing, but maybe there is. He's going to hit that high side in front of the Southern Stars trucks, and we got a spin. A couple cars tied up into turn number 3. We got a big wreck on the backstretch. Yellow flag is out, and what a saving grace for the 005 of Vincent Short. Even the 72 of Carson Conway. It's like an HBR caution. Derek Jacobs, Jason Holdsworth, the point leader. Brett Campbell, Tristan Coach, he's up there in the points. Tristan's top 5 in the points. Maxie Marshall, Glenn Klein, all involved. Oh boy. Let's go back, see if we can catch what happened with Derek Jacobs and Jason Holdsworth, the Inside Lane Productions instant replay. Getting crossed up. I think Carson Conway got a piece of it as well. Keeps the truck straight, gets down, saves it on the bottom. Big mess going into turn number 3. '99, the 02 of Darren McKenzie. 550 involved, the 015 involved. Some pretty stout trucks involved here, unfortunately, at Daytona. Everybody's going to take this opportunity to hit pit lane. Greg Spencer's already in. Raymond Yeager, Nigel Payton, Witcher, Malone, Payton, Pritchard, Shore, Barbara Butler, top 10 on the pit entry. Raymond Yeager beats Spencer off pit lane. See Carson Conway in the pit lane getting his repairs affected here from that incident on the backstretch and this most recent one into turn 3. Getting caught up in that one, unfortunately. It's a tough night starting out for the 72, but he may be able to salvage a decent finish here. Vincent Short coming to his pit stall. No damage on that truck. Worked out for him being that far behind the pack. Was able to get checked up and avoid any kind of damage. Gets him back into this race, leaving the pit lane. Looks like the 12th spot. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a very short break, and we'll return with the green. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at Daytona. Field working through 3 and 4. Pace car lights off, going green this time by new leader Raymond Yeager and Greg Spencer to his outside.
Green flag.
Green is in the air. We're underway here at the Daytona 200. Raymond Yeager and teammate Justin Wisher off with a good start. Running 1 and 2, moving Greg Spencer back to the 3rd spot. Adam Malone, Matt Payton rounding out the top 5, but they're sliding up turn number 2. Oh, lordy. Too close for comfort off turn number 2. They get away with it. Couldn't have fit a piece of paper between the wall and I think it was the 587 truck. Also looks like a team truck to the 23 and 21. 587. Matt Payton, we got big trouble. The 5 in the wall hard. Andy Barber. 90 of Payton. Some top contenders taken out. Vincent Short involved. Another yellow here at Daytona. Not looking good for a series that usually runs so clean. 2 cautions back to back, 17 laps in. Let's go take a look at it. Looks like the 99 gets crossed up. It looked like his own teammate, Darren McKenzie. Yeah, the 02 in another wreck, unfortunately. Let's back this up again. Hard to get a decent look at it here. That's not a good look. All right, let's try blimp 2 here. Blimp 2. 89 actually gets into the 99. Can't tell if it was netcode, but man, not good. Tough hits for the 02. Carson Conway involved again. Once again, big trouble into turn number 3 here at Daytona. So even with damage, he did get some of that fixed on that last pit stop. You can see that 72 truck looks a lot better than it did. Carson is shown currently as your leader. Sorry, Barber, we'll fix it. How did I not notice that? All right, here's the most recent caution. I just called the first one again. Ooh, Vince Short gets into the 90, turns the 90. Andy Barber hard into the wall. All 3 of those guys hard. Michael Shore, Carson Conway sneaks through it. All right. All right, guys. I fixed it. All right. Appreciate you chiming in on that. If I ever do anything like that again, just shoot me. But please mention it in the chat first, just so I can fix it before you do so. My apologies to all the viewers out there. All right, lap 19 of 80. New faces up at the front. We still have Raymond Yeager. That's not a new face by any means. Carson Conway, Tom Pritchard, Greg Spencer, Adam Malone, your top five. Pace car hitting the pit lane.
Green flag.
Green's in the air. We're underway. Carson Conway gets away. Raymond Yeager on the outside. Both those trucks getting out to a bit of an advantage over those vehicles in behind them. Draft is going to eat them up pretty quick if they're not careful. Tom Pritchard, our pole sitter, back out front, and that Southern Stars number 6. Looking down low is the 4 of Adam Malone. Teammates 1, 2, teammates 3 and 4. Field has thinned considerably here in Daytona. Looks like top 10 are the only trucks we've got left on the lead lap. 7 of which are right up here in this pack. Seven truck pack off turn number 4. Tom Pritchard down low, Raymond Yeager up high. Yeager's going to lead this one. Push from the 21 of Justin Witcher gets him there. Raymond Yeager, teammate Justin Witcher, top 2. Side by side, a little wiggle from Yeager, a little contact from the 6 of Tom Pritchard. Almost turns Yeager around. Six pushing the 23 once again. Another wiggle from Raymond Yeager. Oh, and he does spin him. Raymond Yeager spins down the backstretch off the front bumper of the 6 of Tom Pritchard. Oh, and Yeager gets collected down the backstretch. Even worse, still no caution. Lead pack down to 6. The 21, Justin Witcher, without a drafting partner other than Greg Spencer. Flying the ointment between him and Matt Payton in the 587. Lap 25 going up. Justin Witcher continues to lead. Greg Spencer second. Matt Payton third. Fourth, Tom Pritchard. Fifth is Adam Malone. Sixth, Carson Conway. And seventh, last car on the lead lap, Sean Stamper. just kind of without words so far. 25 laps into this 80-lap event. And 2/3 of the field have been wrecked. One way, shape, or form. Not at all what I expected to see out of tonight's events. This league is usually so clean. You're begging for cautions, and so far we've had at least 2, maybe should have been 3 or 4, but a couple of big ones here early. Witcher continues to lead. Greg Spencer still sitting in second spot. Not real confident that if he's going to make a move for the lead around Witcher, if Peyton will go with him. Peyton with the same kind of paint scheme as our leader, Justin Witcher. Obviously a teammate of that machine. If anything, the 587 is going to try and go around the 29, get hooked up with teammate Witcher. Tylee rocks full moon energy. Is it a full moon tonight? Maybe that's it. It certainly seems like something's off. Someone has disrupted the space-time continuum. Top 6 all in a pack up front. Lead lap trucks all together with one exception. Sean Stamper in the 9, the Thor Esports machine. Looks like a new paint on that truck. I don't remember seeing it, but a little wiggle from Stamper off turn 4. Not that I want to see more yellows because I don't know how many trucks we're going to have left, but I'd like to see Stamper get caught up. Back up front, Witcher still leads. Spencer second, Peyton third. Right on board with Greg Spencer, second place truck on the track right now, taking a peek to the high side around Justin Witcher. Nothing doing, maybe just sniffing some air to keep that engine cooled down. Top 6 have certainly settled down in comparison to the rest of the field prior to this. 10 laps from halfway. Still got 50 laps around Daytona here to wrap up before we can call a winner here tonight. These guys cannot risk damaging these trucks any more than they have. These 6 that are out front, really the only ones left in the battle without damage. I know Carson Conway is back there with some damage. Truck doesn't look perfect. It does look better than it did prior to his last stop. That said, last stop was lap 13. These trucks can go about 25 to 26 maybe on a tank of fuel depending on how well they can serve. I know more aggressive, you're looking 23, 24 laps, and we still may see Carson here relatively soon. Again, lap 13, last time he hit pit lane. Next 6 or 7 laps, you may see that number 72 hit the pits. Unfortunately, he's going to be the first guy that's going to need to pit. So we're going to have to hope that somebody ahead of him pits prior to that. Otherwise, he's going to be out without any kind of drafting help if he has to make this stop by himself. Everybody in front of him pit on lap 17, so they've got about 4 more laps of fuel than Conway. Leader's starting to catch lap traffic, getting by that lap traffic pack of 5. Justin Witcher gets by in a hurry. Greg Spencer now looking to the inside. Witcher slams the door into turn 3. If anybody wants to check if tonight's really a full moon, let me know. Hit me up in the chat, because it would totally explain everything. Spencer taking another look to the high side, trying to get Justin Witcher in his mirror. Both trucks seem pretty smooth. Top 6 trucks still single file, taking a peek here and there, seeing if they can find a weakness to the truck in front of them, but nothing really doing. Level of aggression reduced to 2 since the beginning of this race when it started at 12. Top 3 starting to separate just slightly from the 6, the 4, and the 72. Again, that 587 keeping his distance off the tailgate of the 29. Doesn't want to give him a push to go around the 21. Lap 35 of 80. Expect pit stops to start pretty soon. Carson Conway, 22 laps since his last stop. May need to hit pit road the next couple of laps here. RKJ Gaming, I don't know. I mean, maybe tonight I might agree with you, but leading into tonight's race, I mean, these guys are probably one of the cleanest leagues I've ever watched. Yeah, I did see that too, Raymond. That, I don't know what was going on there. Looking back up the track, but it was... He had room to get by. I don't know what happened. Just have to file some protests post-race, of course, but we'll get it worked out. Lap 36. Witcher still leads. Keeping an eye on the 72 of Carson Conway, probably on the lightest fuel of all of our leaders at this point. Lap 37 of 80, lap 38 just now. He was last in at lap 13. He's going to have to make a stop for fuel relatively soon. I know we had some yellow flag laps during that time span, but either way, got to be getting a little light on the Tiger in the tank. Still up front, Justin Witcher, Greg Spencer, Matt Payton, Tom Pritchard. Fifth is Adam Malone. Sixth, Carson Conway. Seventh, last truck on the lead lap, Sean Stamper. He's got to be getting close to being lapped at this point. Where is Sean? Not far ahead. I don't know if he can catch this other truck and maybe get a draft, try and stay on the lead lap, but they're coming in a hurry. Stamper down low, driving his life out, trying to stay ahead of the leader, Justin Witcher. Justin not going to tuck in behind. Maybe he is. Nope, going high side around the 9. Sean Stamper going a lap down, our 7th place truck. Might tuck in here, might stay up in this draft, be part of this pack. Another truck to it. Yep, definitely. Albeit going to be 4th in line, but 7th place on the track and 1 lap down. Only thing that would help him here is a yellow, but given that the trucks in this line are really all that's left, you just hope that he's not involved in it. Lap 40, we're halfway here in the Activity Hub Bali Daytona 200. Carson Conway backed off a little bit from Malone. Maybe we'll see the 72 hit pit lane this time. Nope, not just yet. Aiden Schultz is listed as crashing. What has happened with Aiden? Let's take a quick look if we can find it. I don't know if he lost an engine or ran it out of fuel. Pulls it off the track, no yellow. And just like that, trucks are peeling off the track. Carson Conway, Adam Malone coming to pit lane. Sean Stamper as well. At least he'll have some partners to go back out and draft with. Working in the favor of Carson Conway. Adam Malone comes to his pit stall as well. No tires on the 72 or the 4. 4 is down and away, so is the 72. Slow stop for the 72. Gonna have to get it on pit exit. Meanwhile, leaders Justin Witcher, Spencer, and Payton on the pit lane as well, getting their service at lap 43. Tom Pritchard, Spencer come to a stop in their pit stalls. Fuel only, no need for tires here at Daytona. Not this time. We got one set if they need it, but under green, definitely not advisable. 29 is down and away. Justin Witcher as well. Witcher back out front. Good stop for the 21. "37 laps to go." Justin Witcher, your leader. Greg Spencer back entering turn 3 is second. Matt Payton, a ways back, also in the 587, runs third. Adam Malone is fourth. Tom Pritchard fifth, starting to catch teammate Malone. Carson Conway a little ways back, but has some drafting help from Sean Stamper. Stamper is indeed a lap down still, but out in front of Carson Conway still can use that draft assist to work their way back towards the front. Spencer and Matt Payton working together, second and third. Going to track down Justin Witcher in a hurry. Looking to the high side, going around the 21. New leader Greg Spencer into turn 1. It's one of those things where the 587 of Matt Payton just kind of had to do it. But as good news as it is that Spencer has the lead, now it puts the teammates Matt Payton, Justin Witcher together second and third. This could shape up later on in the race. We've got 35 to go, so we're still going to have another pit stop here before it's all said and done for fuel at a minimum. But if these two get out the way that they are, being nose to tail, they can work together. They can draft on by the 29 truck of Greg Spencer. But no, they're not waiting. They're going to look right now. At the line, the 587 making his way around Greg Spencer with drafting help from the 21. Top 3 here in a small pack into turn number 1. 21 Witcher tucks in below, down low on the 587's tailgate. Matt Payton, your new leader. Top 3 have all grouped back up in the draft. Let's look back to Adam Malone, Tom Pritchard. They're grouped together 4th and 5th. Carson Conway in the 6th spot, worked up together with Stamper. Again, Stamper not on the lead lap. This could prove to be difficult for the 72 of Conway because he does still have some damage on that F-150. Needed a bigger draft, really, to get that vacuum to keep that 72 up to speed. Going to be difficult for these two to work together and draft their way back up into the top 5. Again, back up front, Matt Payton is your leader. Witcher second, Spencer third. Got to be frustrating for the 29 to Greg Spencer, knowing that he's going to have to make some kind of move later on to pass 2 team trucks, potentially without any help. He may just be content with riding here in that 3rd spot, cashing in the points that he can, living to fight another day. Fourth and fifth trucks, Adam Malone and Tom Pritchard, about 3.5 seconds back from our top 3. Not sure if those 2 trucks combined can make enough ground up to get up there and challenge. Actually, it looks like we have an incident with Jason Holdsworth. Maybe he has crashed. Point leader in trouble out on track. Slow moving number 1, Jason Holdsworth, Sandbag Racing, comes to a stop. He is going to call it a night, it looks like. Tough night for the point leader, Jason Holdsworth. Aiden Schultz, a tough night. Kevin Smith wasn't here. Raymond Yeagers crashed. Tristan Coach, I didn't see him in here tonight either. Raymond Yeager worried about points, but it looks like it's been a tough deal so far for all of the top 5. Yeager 45 points to the negative on the way into tonight's race, but so you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. This isn't the last. I think we got 3 races left. 45 points is not insurmountable. It is still possible. It'll be real interesting to see how the points shake out after tonight. Back up front again, Peyton, Witcher, Spencer. Still the top 3, no changes up here. I don't expect to see many, if any. Again, you got Matt Peyton and Witcher, Team Trucks, out in front of Greg Spencer, who desperately wants by, but doesn't have anybody behind him to give him a push. .28 laps to go here in the Activity Hub Bali Daytona 200. Leader Matt Peyton, Justin Wisher, Greg Spencer, Tom Pritchard, Adam Malone, the top 5, followed by Carson Conway, last truck on the lead lap. Carson sporting a little bit of damage on that machine, but he's making the best of it so far, trying to cash in some points for the evening. Maybe we get a caution, maybe he gets caught up and he can still challenge for the lead, challenge for the victory here tonight. Those of you who were not here early on, maybe just joining us, tonight's field started at 26 trucks. Good competitive field, and early on, 17 laps in, we already had 2 big wrecks, followed by another one before the halfway point, and we are down to just 6 trucks currently on the lead lap. Everybody else is either out of the race or limping around damaged. Controversy, some tempers, some hurt feelings for sure. The 0-4, Riz Clayton going a lap down again. Unfortunately, so many trucks with damage here tonight. So you kind of got to wonder. We know that the 2 lead trucks when they need to pit for fuel, they're going to do it together because they're going to need to draft with each other after that stop. I mean, as Greg Spencer, you're almost locked into pitting when they pit because you can't make that call on your own. I almost wonder, looking back, if that's why he forfeited the lead the way that he did. Just trying to see when these team trucks are going to hit pit lane. Because if he waits, he's done. There's got no shot. He leaves pit lane by himself. He's got no drafting help. It's going to be a problem. So I would almost, as our top two, see if you could forfeit the first, second spots. Let Spencer go by, take the lead. Have a late pit entry, as late as you can go without breaking pit speed. Hang the 29 out in the lead by himself. Force him to stop by himself. At least take out a very competitive truck in the 29. Knows how to get around this place. Knows how to work the draft as Michael Shore goes another lap down. I know there's only a handful of trucks here in the lead lap, but strategy is still a factor. Fuel mileage as well. Again, 25 laps to go. I think if they pit now, they're home free the rest of the way if they're careful about it. Maybe go one more for insurance. Granted, you can still get a green-white checker finish here. They do allow one attempt at that here. Now you see fourth and fifth, Adam Malone, Tom Pritchard, Southern Stars trucks making their way by. They're looking for the lead. Almost a tandem draft on the outside of the tri-oval. 24 laps to go. Tom Pritchard on the outside, a nose out in front, drafting help from the 4. Greg Spencer just sitting there watching like, oh boy, let's not wreck now. Matt Payton kind of backing off to 21, letting it happen. These guys might be getting ready to hit pit lane here shortly. Carson Conway still hooked up with the 9 of Sean Stamper. Coming to 23 to go. Leaders stay out. Down the backstretch, once again, Tom Pritchard in the lead. Teammate Adam Malone second. Justin Witcher led so much of this race here late. He's in third. Matt Payton fourth. Greg Spencer fifth. Carson Conway sixth. Raymond Yeager hooking me up with some information. I guess the 29 is also a team truck. The 21 and the 587, so don't expect anything crazy here late. Looks like Southern Stars versus those 3, so we do have 2 teams involved here. Numbers go against Southern Stars. Thanks for the heads up, Ray, appreciate it. Top 5 back in the pack, 22 to go through turns 3 and 4. Let's see if they peel off and hit the pits. They're definitely going to have to make one more stop before this one is all over. Man, I really thought they were going to do it this time by. Pinnacle Esports is the team for the 21, the 587, and the 29. That is Witcher, Payton, and Spencer. Trying my best, Ray. It's tough with only 5 trucks battling, but we're going to make it work. Down the backstretch again, 21 laps to go. Southern Stars trucks at the point, 6 in the 4. Pritchard and Malone. Pinnacle Esports 3, 4, and 5. almost surprised that nobody has taken the opportunity to hit pit lane yet. I know at this point they can make it to the end. If they do pit, they will have enough fuel. Even if they run wide open out in the lead, they got enough to make it. Even with a green-white checker at this point, I think they'd be okay. But with so few trucks currently on the lead lap, not a whole lot of aggression, not a whole lot of battling going on. I wouldn't even expect to see a green-white checker here late. Granted, yes, anything's possible. Just not something I'd lay my money on. Carson Conway has hit pit lane, it appears. He's no longer drafting with the 9. No, there he is. He's still there. Okay. And as we talk, the Southern Stars trucks do hit pit lane. The 6 and the 4 getting their stops in the final stop of the night. The 4 misses his box, has to back it up. Now he goes too far back. He's got to go back into his box again. Oh, big trouble for Southern Stars. This is not only going to hurt the 4, but also Tom Pritchard, who is down and away. He may have the 014 to work with in the draft, but we're going to have to see how that shakes out. Justin Witcher back to the lead. Matt Payton second. Greg Spencer third. They're looking at pit lane, but not this time by. One more lap. They're going to take advantage of being hooked up in the draft, gain some ground on those Southern Stars trucks. Fortunate set of circumstances, a turn of events for the 4 of Adam Malone. Misses his pit box, goes in a little too deep, then he backs it up, goes back too far, lost a ton of time on the pit lane, a 17.73 second stop for fuel only. Could have changed 4 tires and gas in less than that if he had just hit the box. Compare that with Tom Pritchard at 9.63 seconds. That is a massive difference in time, especially at 185 miles an hour on the racetrack. That is insurmountable with only 18 laps to go. Justin Witcher off 4 once again. They're going to go by the pit lane another time. I think they're going to pit real late. They're banking on this full tank of fuel to burn it all the way down to that last little drop. So all they need to do on their pit is a small top off. 014 in the wall. They see Adam Malone has also lost a lap in that exchange. Granted, the leaders have yet to pit. The 4 of Malone will catch these leaders and be able to draft. Just to stay caught up. Where did Tom Pritchard end up? Tom is, in effect, he's in the 4th spot. Adam Malone... Yeah, Adam Malone just got lapped. Pritchard is in the 4th spot, but not that far out in front of these leaders. Leaders are going to work. Keep drafting. Again, Pritchard's by himself, I think it was. Yep. 6 all by himself. Tough, tough break for Southern Stars. Unless we get a caution, something dramatic happening here in the late stages. 15 and a half laps to go. Pinnacle Esports has a 1-2-3 going right now. It's going to be a battle between the 3 of them. None of these guys have a win thus far on the season. Oh, Justin Witcher does have a win. My mistake. Here they come. All 3 trucks peel off the banking down the pit lane. Witcher gets a great entry into the pits. Hopefully he's not speeding. Spencer gets in pretty decent as well. Matt Payton not so much. Loses a spot on that pit entry. Witcher comes to a stop into his pit box. Gets in clean. 587 of Payton, same situation. Gets in clean as well. Greg Spencer didn't catch his entry, but it doesn't look like he's struggling. 21 is down and away. 587 is down and away, and 29 is down and away. So they get back on the track relatively the same as how they entered. Witcher, Payton, Greg Spencer, top 3. Still out front. Now Tom Pritchard is coming in a hurry. He's still a ways back as he was about to get lapped before the leaders hit pit lane. Tom Pritchard about 8 seconds behind Greg Spencer and closing. Spencer not really hooked up in the draft yet. Peyton, same situation. Witcher, same thing. They're all spread out pretty significantly. These guys are going to have to get hooked back up, or do they with 15 to go? Can they just run by themselves without help? I almost see that this is going to cycle through. You may see a lap truck play a factor in drafting help to get by passing the leader for a win here late. Going to have to see how this shakes out. No drafting help for the leader. Still no drafting help. Oh, correction. Greg Spencer getting hooked up now with Matt Peyton. Must have dragged the brake a little bit. They're going to try and draft back up to the leader, Justin Spencer. Correction, Justin Witcher. Tom Pritchard still by himself, but don't look now. Adam Malone has caught the tailgate of the number 6, and now they also have drafting help together. 2 is better than 1. Not as good as 3, but it's certainly better than being out there on an island all by yourself. 13 laps to go. I don't think they're going to have enough to catch them. Again, I think the key here for the top 3, Witcher, Spencer, and Peyton, is they didn't have to take anywhere near as much fuel as 4th and 5th, Pritchard and Malone. They pit a little bit early comparative to these leaders. They had to take on more fuel. That was more time on pit lane. Again, Malone had his issues missing his box. That certainly did not help Southern Stars as far as that's concerned. But they still had to take more fuel. Tom Pritchard, 9.63 seconds of fuel. Witcher, Spencer, and Peyton, 8.4, 8.7, and 7.8 respectively. So roughly a second faster and more, depending on who you compare it to. That's a lot of distance on the racetrack. Said 185 miles an hour, 1,000. You cover a lot of ground. Spencer and Peyton catching Witcher. Top 3 back together here. Spencer going to look to the high side with help from the teammate. Yep, he's going to go around, put Greg Spencer back to the lead. Matt Peyton second, Justin Witcher back to third. Going to be great to see if these guys can really put a battle together here late in the going. Will they just ride it out and have that team 1, 2, 3, or is it going to be checkers or wreckers for Pinnacle Esports? Eleven laps to go in the Daytona 200. Greg Spencer is your new leader once again. Tom Pritchard, Adam Malone entering turn 1. Spencer, Peyton, and Witcher just getting down the end of the backstretch. Big, big gap. Without a yellow, it's between these 3. Carson Conway back there again after the pit stop. Still hooked up with Sean Stamper. Still has some drafting help. Still holding down a decent top 6. Greg Spencer getting past once again. Matt Peyton, Justin Witcher going on by. Spencer back to the 3rd spot. Matt Peyton off turn number 4. 10 laps to go. Coming to 9 to go. These guys have switched it up once again. I don't know if this is a matter of trucks getting hot, need some fresh air, let's switch it up. Or if they're just saying it's time to go. Riz Clayton going another lap down on the high side. Matt Payton, the 587 Edge truck, still out front. I think it's Sim Racers Edge is the sponsor on those trucks. Yep, simraceredge.com. We'll get a better look at it from the in-car perspective from second place, Justin Witcher. simracingedge.com. There it is. Peyton sporting the Spider-Man fire suit. Love it. Off turn 4 once again, coming to 6 laps to go. The anticipation waiting for business to pick up between these three teammates. Will they just ride it out to the finish and go 1, 2, 3? Or are they going to battle with a lap to go? Tom Pritchard, Adam Malone working down the backstretch. Leaders are through 3 and 4. Justin Witcher keeps stepping out down low off turn 4 where Matt Payton runs a little wide. Greg Spencer running wide himself through the corner, backing off a little, trying to get a run on the top 2. Things getting dicey up front with our leaders, Peyton, Witcher, Spencer. Again, they are all teammates, but I don't care who it is. You still want to win the race. Four laps to go in the Daytona 200. Matt Payton hoping that he can bring this home and put it in victory lane. Teammates Justin Witcher and Greg Spencer behind might be considering changing that outcome. Teammates or not, we're all racers. You want to put the truck in victory lane. You want to be the first one there. Second's terrible, third's worse. You get the point. 3.5 to go as they go into turn number 3. Top 3 getting a little bit spread out here in the late going. They work turn 4, coming to 2 laps to go. Matt Payton, Justin Witcher, Greg Spencer, Pinnacle Esports 1, 2, 3. You wonder if the 21 of Witcher is backing up a little bit, hoping to be able to get a run on the 587 of Matt Payton. Greg Spencer, same thing. They kind of have to time this together or don't do it at all, but less than 2 to go. They're off turn number 2. Catching some lap traffic, the 99, the 72 of Carson Conway, the 9 of Stamper. They'll hold the inside. Leaders go high. Not going to blow by these 3, though. They are worked together here. It's going to keep them in this draft. This may play a factor. We talked about this at the end of the last set of pit stops. Last lap, white flag in the air for Matt Payton. Can Justin Witcher or Greg Spencer do anything with him? Will they do anything with Matt Payton? Will they just ride it out? Stamper down low in the 9, kind of the fly in the ointment of these leaders. 99 and the 72 backing off, letting them just go at it. Down the back stretch for the final time is Matt Payton. Down to the bottom, the apron. Stamper goes low, lets the leaders run it out. Matt Payton, Justin Witcher, Greg Spencer through turns 3 and 4. Not really together close enough to make a move, but the 21's taking a look down low. Justin Witcher to the inside, off turn 4. Short shoot into the tri-oval. Can Matt Payton bring it home? Yes, he can. The 5.87 of Matt Payton is your winner tonight. The Activity Hub Bali Daytona 200 belongs to the 587 simracingedge.com. Entry that Chevy Silverado is going to park it in Victory Lane. Fireworks going off. We had plenty of fireworks early on. Thank goodness we saved more until post-race. Matt Payton victorious here in Daytona. Kobe Jordan, thanks for the props, man. Appreciate it. Matt Payton doing his best Dale Earnhardt impersonation in the infield grass. Get it back on the pavement. Oh, they're both doing it on donuts. Raymond, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Everybody's doing donuts. Top 3, awful happy here. It's a Pinnacle Esports 1, 2, 3 here at Daytona. These guys are going to celebrate. We're going to take a short break and be back with interviews. Stay with us.
Yeah, gotcha, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost Justin. I think Ray was going to step in for him.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daytona 200. We are in its conclusion. Race is over. Matt Payton has been victorious with Pinnacle Esports. He's going to be our first go-to here. Let's pull Matt here into the booth. Matt Payton, it's Steve with HBR TV in the booth. Do you got a copy? Matt, do you got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you going,
All right.
mate?
Matt, congratulations, man. A Pinnacle Esports 1, 2, 3. You brought it home for the checkered flag, though. A wild first third of the race. How did you avoid the chaos? I know you were kind of up front for most of the evening, but up 7 spots from where you started. Tell us how you did it.
There really wasn't much to it. Just hold my race line and yeah, just pretty much start at the front like you said.
Well, Matt, I apologize. We are losing audio with you once again. Give me one moment. We will try and fix it one last time, and if it doesn't work, well, then we're out of luck. Well, Matt, congratulations. I can hear you just fine, but we're not getting you out over the broadcast. I'm not sure what has changed. But either way, congratulations. It was a great run, and we'll see you next week.
No worries, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We can't get our top 3 into the chat properly. I'm not sure what the audio issue is. Nothing's really changed on our end, but it's not going out over the stream. So again, my apologies. It's been one of those nights. It was kind of crazy here early on in the evening. We saw some issues early in the first 17, 18 laps, couple of cautions, couple of big wrecks. Guys got settled down a little bit before halfway, and then we had another big one. But it ended up, we had, I think it was 5 trucks on the lead lap post-race. We still managed to get a close finish. It was a decent finish. We had trucks all grouped up here at the finish line, so that was good to see. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and sticking around through all of that. It was still a good race. I mean, they made it work. That's all we can really say. But with that, let's go to our race results. Of course, our winner, Matt Payton, Pinnacle Esports, the number 587. Second place teammate, Justin Witcher in the 21. Third place was Greg Spencer in the number 29. Fourth place was Tom Pritchard in the 6. Southern Stars entry. Fifth place also teammate Adam Malone in the 4. 6 was Carson Conway with Howler Boys Racing. Did finish a lap down, but just the lack of drafting help and major incidents with everybody involved early on in the race. You can see in the lineup here, you got a lap down, 2 laps, 8 laps, 9 laps, and then 27, 30, 40, 40 plus, and so on. But a good solid finish for Carson Conway in the 72. Sean Stamper, same thing. It's listed as the 3. He was running the 9, but you saw the truck tonight for sure with BSR. Finishes 2 laps down. Glenn Klein in the 64. He was 8th. Michael Shore brought it home with a top 10 after some struggles with those wrecks as well. Still 9 laps down, but again, hung in there. Didn't do the rage quit thing and brought home the 07 Sim Racers merch. Number 07 home to a 9th place finish. Riz Clayton was 10th in the 014. 11th, Peter Matson. 12th was Dean Guilfoyle. 13th was Aiden Schultz. 14th, Jason Holdsworth. 15th was Derek Jacobs. 16th was Nigel Payton. 17th, Paul Regney. And 18th was Raymond Yeager. Further down the field, 19th was Andy Barber. 20th, Vincent Short. 21st was Dylan Butler. 22nd was Maxie Marshall. 23rd, Tristan Coach. 24th was Brett Campbell. 25th was Darren McKenzie. And 26th was Colton Lights. So that's going to about wrap it up. We had a bunch of storylines to go over really tonight. I mean, the bottom line is it was not a good points night for really anybody that came into the top 5 in points for tonight. Jason Holdsworth involved in an incident. Aiden Schultz, same thing. Kevin Smith, I don't know that he made the field tonight. Don't know if he was able to run. Raymond Yeager, another crash for him, unfortunately. Tristan Coach, I also don't think he made the field. So these guys are worried about points because of the wrecks, but really the whole top 5 did not have a good evening here in Daytona. So we're just going to have to see how things shake out for next week. It may be a rebuttal week for everybody involved. So with that, thank you for tuning in. We certainly appreciate it. Like, share, the whole 9 yards. The YouTube page, the Facebook page. Spread it to your friends if they're not already watching. Even if they're not racing fans per se, they're just tuning in because, oh yeah, let's check it out. Well, it's exciting to watch, okay? Maybe they'll become a race fan. Maybe they'll become an iRacing fan. Maybe they'll become a full throttle fan. Who knows? You never know who's going to watch. You never who could watch. So like, share, follow, subscribe. You know, all those fancy buzzwords that these streamers use. Tune in next week. Saturday the 27th is the U.S. time, 28th on the other side of the world. We're going to run Homestead Miami Speedway. Again, late afternoon, 134 laps from Homestead Miami, the Florida 200. So be sure to be there for that. With that, I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. I appreciate you being here 100% every week. We'll see you next time.